from a dog trainer point of view, doggy daycare is the worst thing you can do for your dog. Well, it creates an obsession, right? A dog feels like he's entitled to go play with other dogs, or it creates misbehaviors that we have to train out of another dog, right? So a lot of that hyperactivity, a lot of that obsession about other dogs that you see from like the doodles and things like that, that's created from dog parks and doggy daycare. It's that constant need for stimulation, that constant need for running and not being supervised, not having rules, boundaries, and restrictions that you get a lot of behavioral issues.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corsos Podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, Joe. We talk everything dog from people all over the world. I'm glad everybody's back. Angela, you here with the country boy? How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know, I'm
yes.
good. I'm good. I can't ever complain. How are you?
I'm in it to win it as always.
There we go.
Yeah. So my co-producer, Douglas Coppage, I know you've been talking to him, and he just been, Joe, check out Angela. And so I seen some clips and everything, and I'm like, okay. And you explain things. You should have been a teacher. Or maybe you are a teacher.
It's funny. For 1 year, I was a math and literacy coach for kindergarten and first grade.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then after those bad little kids did what they did, and I was like, you know what? I can't deal with the snot and boogers. I just can't do it.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. Well, so where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Los Angeles, California.
L.A. is in the house.
L.A.
Well, I've been meaning a lot.
I'm currently in Las Vegas, though, dealing with the heat, fighting this heat wave we have going on.
How high is the heat there right now?
It was 114 today.
It's 114 in Arkansas just the other day. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Yeah. So dog training, that's your passion, that's your way of life. I asked you who your mentor was, who got you started. Who was that?
The late great OJ Knighton. That was my mentor. More like a father figure. I started with him when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was kind of blessed to just be driving by with my parents. I'm driving down and we call it up on the hill, right?
Right.
And I'm begging. I'm like, oh, please, there's this guy there. He's training dogs. Just please stop. And parents stop. And we get out the car and my dad's like, all right, well, go introduce yourself then.
Yeah.
And, I walk up to him. I introduce myself. And he goes, okay, well, if you're serious about dogs, you'll be here tomorrow, which was Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll be here. Not a problem at all. And I was there every Saturday and Sunday and the rest of every day until my late 20s.
Really? Yeah. Dog training, that's a weekend thing. All days on the weekends.
All days on the weekends. And it just kind of slowly evolved into him saying, hey, do you want a job?
Oh, really? Okay.
And I was like, all right, let's do it.
Right. So who are some of the most popular people that come from Mr. OJ under his tutelage?
Oscar Mora would be probably the most popular person that comes from him.
Mm-hmm.
David Wright is probably my favorite dog trainer, but I don't think he's as popular, but David's probably one of my favorite people in the world. I call David, he's like my other brother.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
and it's funny because a lot of the times with OJ, we came up together. Oscar, David, myself, all of us were around at the same time.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, that's a apprenticeship. I don't know if that happens a lot right now. I finally got myself lucky. I found a good trainer. You know what I noticed? I was talking to a guy the other day, and I was trying to, I try to deal with the elite trainers, and being I live in the woods, basically, in the middle of the country in Arkansas.
Nice.
It's hard. And so I was talking to a guy that he breeds Schnauzer named Garrett Ferguson, right? He said, bro, 2 or 3 hours drive is the norm.
Absolutely. It's funny because you talk to what I call a normal person, a person who's not into dogs, and they're like people who live here in Vegas. And it's funny because I live in North Las Vegas. So I'm all the way on the north side, and then Henderson's all the way on the south side. And it's about a 30-minute drive. So to me, being from Los Angeles, it's not that big of a deal. But people who are in Vegas, they're like, oh, I can't drive 30 minutes.
Right.
But then you get into dog sports, and I have people who come from Arizona to join Bite Night. And then I have clients who live all the way in San Diego who drive every summer and drop their dogs off for remedial training.
Yeah. So I even drive almost an hour for my dog food.
Yeah.
I'll drive an hour for a vet. I mean, this is kind of the lifestyle of dog people. You know what I mean?
Right. Because my vet's in Henderson. So I drive that half hour to Henderson, and people are like, oh, you're crazy. But, it's little suburbs in Las Vegas, and every suburb has their own little kind of community, and no one travels outside of that community. But being in a dog-driven mindset, I'm like, whatever is best for my dog.
That's right. So you got your mentorship from Mr. OJ and started working for him. How long did that relationship, as far as working for him, before you split off on your own?
No, I worked for him well into my late 20s.
Okay.
I moved to Vegas when I was 27.
Okay.
And that's when I officially split from OJ.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. What is something about Mr. OJ that's you don't see a lot today for as teachers?
Oh, he didn't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
Not a thing. And he didn't care about your feelings, and he didn't care how you felt about it. He always said, this is a democracy and this is not a dictatorship. If you have an opinion about something, you go somewhere and state that opinion. You don't come here with your thoughts and your feelings. And it was always his way or the highway. And either you made it or you didn't with him. And honestly, that's a lot of things that we don't see these days. People are afraid to hurt people's feelings. Yeah. And sometimes your feelings have to be hurt. That's just
it does. Because you got to build the discipline. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what he was all about, discipline, because we did a lot of things. We worked with a lot of celebrities. We worked on a lot of movie sets. And anyone who came up with or through OJ knows that, you're going on a movie set and there's a certain decorum you had to have about yourself. And if you didn't have that decorum, you were never going back on set.
So that is a chapter that I don't know if you're still doing it, but training dogs for movies. What kind of movies were you doing? Any famous ones or ones we probably know about?
So back in the early 2000s, I think any movie that had a dog with someone biting something, OJ was involved in.
Oh, gotcha.
So personally, I was on set for the first and second Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's this movie called The Breed that I was I had to stunt double a little bit for. There's a lot Hotel for Dogs. We did this other movie called The Fence Walker. And then there's it's funny because I had some downtime last year and I was rewatching True Blood, and I looked in the background. I said, there's a dog fighting scene. I said, is that OJ? I had forgotten we did True Blood.
Right.
We did Bones. A
Okay,
couple of
yeah.
episodes of Bones. With Caesar Milan was on there.
Uh-huh.
All those dogs that Caesar Milan was training in Bones, those were our dogs.
Right. Okay.
You know, OJ was
Right.
always saying, we got to have two of everything. If I have one, you have one.
Yeah.
So you need a dog.
Right. The culture of LA, yeah, you have those type of opportunities being that there's so much filmmaking up there, right?
Yes,
Right.
tons of it. I mean, the last movie I was a part of with him was Django Unchained.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Django. That's a wild movie.
Yeah, John Wick, that John Wick effect. Unfortunately, that was OJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang, Mr. OJ wasn't playing around, was he?
Not at all.
Yeah. So beside we talking about movies, what kind of movies you like? Do you have time to watch TV? Because I don't.
Not really. No.
Yeah.
My time is spent feeding dogs.
Right. Yeah. I don't have time to do any sitting in front of a television. And if I do, it's maybe on a late Saturday night and I'm gonna watch some boxing. I love boxing. Yeah. So yeah. So Zenith K9 Resort. I saw a review of your place, and that was nice. That was incredible.
I appreciate
it. That's a heck of a spot you've got there, young lady.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I was like, whoo. So what all do you do there?
The
services you offer.
What don't we do?
Yeah, okay.
So we do grooming, dog training, boarding, daycare, solo daycare. We have our bite nights there. We rent spots out to other trainers who need some refuge from the heat.
Oh, gotcha.
We're in almost 9,000 square feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we have a lot of space to do a lot of different things. So by day it operates as a normal doggy daycare. I wouldn't necessarily say normal because from a dog trainer point of view, doggy daycare is the worst thing you can do for your dog.
Why?
Well, it creates an obsession, right? A dog feels like he's entitled to go play with other dogs, or it creates misbehaviors that we have to train out of another dog, right? So a lot of that hyperactivity, a lot of that obsession about other dogs that you see from like the doodles and things like that, that's created from dog parks and doggy daycare. It's that constant need for stimulation, that constant need for running and not being supervised, not having rules, boundaries, and restrictions that you get a lot of behavioral issues. So my dog daycare runs a lot differently. Instead of having dogs free play all day, we do break dogs down into age, play style, size, and temperament. So that way we don't get a lot of the same conflicts. And then we have 30-minute segments. We run dogs for 30 minutes. They're allowed to play for 30 minutes. And then they go up. And then we run the next set of dogs. And we continue that path until we get back to that first step.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, that's interesting. I know I had boarded my dog one time. This was years ago, one of my oldest females. And I told this story before. But the guy, he trained her. And so I said, can you keep her while I go out of town? So he's like, yeah, bring it through. And, so I got Corsos, of course. And she was about a year and a half or so. And, big dog. And I don't take my dog to dog parks. I was always told not to.
Yeah.
Because this is like the rule. Don't take your dog to dog parks. So I take her to get boarded by this guy for a day or two. And when I got there, it was just a wide open house of dogs. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with her? He said, just let her go. And I'm like, I just didn't trust that I'm not, do you do it like that? Because
no.
That really scared the hell out of me. Even when I left, I called back about 10 minutes later. Everything all right?
Everything okay?
Yeah, man. I was like, he told me, well, they'll put her in her place. And I'm like, man, no. Yeah.
And if you have a nice Corso, your Corso shouldn't take that.
Right. That's why I was kind of like, you know.
Like, you sure about that?
Right.
No. So I don't allow a new dog to go directly into a play group.
Right.
Start them off slowly. So what I do is I have a tester dog. And usually the tester dog is either a dog that's been with me for a long time or my personal dog. And so that way I know that their temperament's balanced. And I don't let any of my other trainers or daycare attendants do the temperament testing because we have two different types of daycare. They can either play solo or they can play in the group.
Gotcha.
So we don't turn away any dogs just because they can't play with the group.
Right.
And if they pass that test with the one dog, we introduce another dog and then another. So that way it's a slow introduction and make sure that every dog in that group's cohesive. Otherwise, we get fights. There's a dog daycare not too far from me that is in the process of shutting down because they had 3 dogs, 3 separate events, 3 weeks in a row.
Whew.
All dog fights, 3 dogs dead.
Whoa. Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. You got to be careful.
And I don't ever want to make that phone call, that somebody's dog has died in my care. And I've been professionally training for 27 years and I'm blessed enough to say that I have never had an incident. And great. I never want one.
No. We're gonna knock on low. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. So I'm interested in some of the stuff you're saying, and the one thing about you is, please, y'all don't get offended what I'm about to say, but we do a lot of protection dog talk on this channel and different things like that, and it'd be like, rrr, rrr, rrr. But I noticed that you kind of like, you the whole spectrum, you know what I mean? So like, what kind of dogs do you see? I know you see a variance of dogs, but what are some of the hot dogs you see, not for its temperament, but popular dogs you seeing now that frequenting your place?
Corsos.
Corsos
are I don't know why. Everybody wants a big ass Corso.
Yeah. I already knew it. That sucker went to it's the number 2 Google dog.
Yes.
And it's a number 11 in the AKC right now.
Yes.
It's like,
and it's the number 10 as far as the AKC ratings go for the most wanted dog.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. So, yeah.
Do you know how much dog food y'all gotta feed these Corsos?
Oh yeah. I got a hefty dog food bill. Let me ask you this. I don't shy away from when I have people on here. I ask them the good, the bad, and the ugly about each breed they that we cover. Corsos, be honest. I'm a Corso breeder. Tell me the good, the bad, and ugly as you see as a trainer.
What's funny is that Oscar Morris started off as a Corso guy.
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
David Wright started off as a Corso guy.
Yeah.
So I've seen Corsos for 20 plus years. And the way the breed has changed in 20 years is it's like night and day. Is astronomical. You see a Corso now and there's these big, giant, intimidating looking dogs. And as a matter of fact, I have one coming in for a board and train starting in August. And she's this big, nice looking dog. And I'm a fan of large dogs. I love a big looking dog, but she's a big looking dog. And as soon as I stepped into the room, she peed.
Whoa. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a Corso.
Yeah. We got major temperament problems in the breed. Yeah.
Yes. And then if you look at the description of the breed and what they're supposed to do, how many of those Corsos can actually do the job that they were bred to do, that they were originally meant to do? And it's very far and in between.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, I've seen maybe one.
Yeah, that's
people
true.
do some nice editing on these videos of these Corsos doing protection work, and then they bring them in, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll tell him to watch. Let's see what he's got. And nah, I don't think I've seen a nice Corso in 10 years, and that's a dog that I got from Oscar for a client.
Right. Yeah. They bagging up. They peeing. Yeah. They side eye you
right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a horrible experience with one, and I'm glad I did. I paid that money. I paid the most money for the shittiest Corso I ever bought. The dude taking me through a lot of games, buying a dog, and I'm glad I did it. He never think I'd be doing this podcast, but I never said anything about it because I wouldn't do that to it. But I do let people know, like, look, it's kind of crazy out here. But being that you see so many of them, besides the skittishness you see in some of the lines, what other problems are you seeing with the owners and the Corso?
Oh, the typical thing that they don't need to socialize their dogs.
Right.
They don't need to expose their dogs because they want a
Right.
personal protection dog or they want a guardian dog. And the old thing of no one touches my dog. And unfortunately that sets them up for failure. The less your dog sees, the less confident your dog is. And
Right.
that's just, you can't take a dog who's been in your backyard for 2 years and expect them to protect outside of your backyard.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
He can protect that yard, but anything outside of that yard is a big red flag for him. He doesn't want to go past it. And I'm all about overcoming obstacles and not creating obstacles, especially within that breed.
Right. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So as far as like I said, like I don't go to dog parks, but so where do you suggest families take their Corsos for socialization?
Well, I would suggest them take their Corso puppies, not their full-grown Corso.
Right.
So we're talking about anywhere between 8 weeks and maybe 32 weeks. And we just expose. I take my dogs to Tractor Supply, Lowe's, Home Depot, Bass Pro Shop, the family nurseries. Anytime that my mom wants to go plant shopping, and I'm like, I don't want to go plant shopping, but my dog needs to see some stuff.
Yeah, just take them with you.
I just take them with me. I tell everybody all the time, anywhere that you can take a dog, take them.
Right.
Take them.
Yeah.
You may not want to go, but go.
Yeah. Now, back in the day, you know where I used to love to take them?
Where's that?
Truck stops. Loud, but I'll walk them on the outside of it. Not all up in there with the noise and different things, but yeah. So I used to love to take them there. Yeah.
That sounds like it's a great place to take a dog.
It is.
A lot of exposure, a lot of noise, a lot of people.
The
feeling of going from the concrete to a rock to a different surface, that's perfect for a dog.
Right.
All it is exposure. The more your dog overcomes, the more confident they are throughout their lifetime.
Right. Now, my puppies, what I think I like about my puppies, I can set them, I can go somewhere, like they could be 8 weeks. I can set them down, be a whole new environment. They just coming with me. They ain't tripping. They yeah. But
exactly why you do it at 8 weeks, because they're like, all right, cool. The world is new, nothing scary.
Right. But I mess with when I started with some good breeders. I had a cousin that's been in the breed since we was like, what was we, about 19 or 20? Yeah, so yeah, he knew, and I got set up right. So when I went outside my circle, I went and got burnt. You know what I mean? So yeah,
you were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, not paying attention like I need to be. But so let me get into something else because we finna go on a little loop. This is your first interview, so I gotta get to know you a little bit. So
go ahead.
Behavior modification is probably another issue you see. Explain to me what a behavior modification is.
Yeah, so what people think it is where I take a dog that's completely aggressive and he's trying to kill me and rip my throat out, right? And then I make him into this nice sociable dog, and unfortunately that's not the case. Behavioral modification is where you're modifying the behavior of the dog to fit into a construct that kind of conforms to what the dog can do realistically, right? And all that's to say is management and mitigation. We teach the dog what's okay behavior and what's not okay behavior, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And then we teach the owner how to manage and mitigate that behavior by not setting their dogs up for failure, by putting them back into those same situations.
Give me an example, kind of.
A lot of it's at home, right? So I'll give you an example. I had a Samoyed. He's actually boarding with me right now. We did a behavior modification. His name was Ghost. Bit the groomer, bit the vet tech, bit the mom.
Dang.
Yeah, so we've got a dog that's got a bite history. Came in, he's a big fluffy white dog. Who doesn't love a big fluffy white dog? And he looks sweet because he doesn't show any signs of aggression. He doesn't show any forward or outwardly signs of aggression. So my manager goes in there. She's taking potty breaks. She goes to loop and bit her. She comes back. She's like, that dog bit me. I was like, oh, my fault. I put a red card up there. Red card means no one touches that dog but me. But, we fall into the habit of only shepherds or Rotties or Corsos are aggressive. A Samoyed cannot be aggressive because he's pretty and he's cute. So I keep my B mods for 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't put a timeline on how long I mitigate the behavior. And I simply started with him being with me walking him back and forth. I don't pet him. I don't talk to him. I don't do any of that other treat. I don't offer him treats. You just have to learn how to coexist with me. So after he learns to coexist with me, after he learns to come up, put his head down so I can loop him, we walk around, then I start letting other people do the same thing. So that way he learns that this behavior gives him freedom. So no correction needed yet. But if all you do is come up, you put your head down so I can loop you, it gives you that freedom that you want. The next step with him was the grooming stuff. So we had to slowly, because he's a Samoyed, so he has to get groomed. He has to be brushed. Otherwise, he's going to mess up, right? So I muzzle conditioned him. And he wasn't a dog that was a fan of treats anyway. He wasn't, a purely positive trainer. And I have my gripes about them. Would have tried to load him up, with treats, and he would have never taken not a one of them.
Now that's different. Muzzle treat, without a treat. That's crazy. So go ahead. Don't let me cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So we're going through the steps. His whole thing was he liked to walk. So his reward for everything, okay, 2 minutes of brushing, perfect. Let's go on a walk. That was his reward for everything. Right. So we mitigated the behavior by giving him what he wanted if he allowed me to do what I wanted. So now the dog comes in, he lets us brush him, he lets us bathe him, he lets us cut his nails, he lets us do all those things. But the issue is now what? Not me anymore. The issue is at home.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just stop with me training at my shop with my trainers. It has to continue throughout with the parents, with the pet parents. That's what they like to be called now.
Right. Yeah.
So we have to teach the owner how to mitigate and be responsible and how to kind of advocate for their dog, because this is a dog that no one should walk up on. So, you've got to teach the owner, okay, say no, how to say no, when to say no, who to say no to, how to reward the dog, how to correct the dog. Because most people think that a dog is just a luxury item, that they get the dog and the dog just blends perfectly into their life. And that's not the case.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make changes and adjustments for the dog that's in front of you. And that may not have been the dog that you wanted, but that's the dog you got. And now you're stuck with that dog.
Right. Yeah. You said something about teaching the owners, and so what does your board and train look like?
So I have 3 different levels of board and train. I have my regular board and train. I've got my immersion program, which is kind of like dogs who are fearful, reactive, or over the top excited. And then I have my behavioral modification. My board and trains run differently than other trainers, because what other trainers will do is like, oh yeah, my board and train's 3 weeks long. My board and train is results based. Once I get the result that I want from your dog, then we're done. So that could be 3 weeks or that could be 6 weeks. Once the dog gives me the result that I want, so that way I'm not putting a dog that's fearful into a timeline situation. You know, I don't give dogs timelines. I don't give owners timelines. I'm like, all right, I will estimate that I need this amount of time with this dog. It could be sooner, it could be later, but I keep in contact. For the most part, like any other board and train, sit, stay, place, come, walking on the leash, not jumping on people, waiting at doors and boundaries. I go outside. I take all of my board and trains on field trips because obedience isn't just obedience in the shop. It has to be obedience in real life situations. Where I'm different is not just the results based, but I bring the owner in.
Okay.
So me and the owner have meetups weekly. If they can't make the meetup because they're out of town, that's fine, because my go home session is usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then we have follow-up sessions after that. Because guess what's going to happen? The dog's going to revert to that same behavior because the person's not changed. The dog has changed. That person hasn't changed.
Yeah, they pretty resilient at knowing patterns and different things. Yeah.
I had a customer text me a couple of weeks ago. She doesn't even have her dogs yet. We had 2 Frenchies fighting in the household. I'm like, oh, Frenchies, they're not going to hurt each other much. But the issue is, she's texting me and she's freaking out. She's like, oh, I don't want them. And the issue is this. And I was like, no, there's an issue in the household, but the issue is you. And that's a little OJ in me too. And, I don't take a lot of mess from people. And I let people know very immediately. I cut stuff off. I'm like, no, the issue is you in your household. And that's where I need to be. I need to be with you and these dogs in your house. Otherwise, the behavior is going to continue.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times we don't hear what you just said. That it's a lot of time the owners are not doing their jobs.
Exactly. And they're not ready.
Right.
It's because we have an idea of a dog and we all have an idea of what our perfect dog is. And then what happens is that we have this idea of our perfect dog and then we go and get the opposite. So we have a person that has parties every day.
Right.
They have strangers over the house all the time. They want their families involved in their lives. Grandma's over with all the grandkids every other week. And then you turn around and you get a presser.
Right.
I'm like, you got a lab.
Right.
Like, you get a dog that matches your lifestyle, not the dog that you've envisioned.
Right.
But unfortunately, we get what's popular.
That's the thing. And going back to the Corsos, you was talking about like seeing them pee and different things like that. And to be honest with you, most of us who breeding Corsos on a higher level, they're just not doing it just because I can guarantee you, I could tell you the pedigree of that dog. I could do it. Exactly. Yeah, I could do it. But let me ask you, this is why I'm saying that. As a trainer, can you kind of dissect genetic fear versus just a lack of socialization or anything else? How do you know?
Absolutely. It's a gift.
You gotta read dogs, yeah.
So it's a little bit of a gift and it's experience. So when you've been around for 20 some odd years, you start learning, okay, this is a genetic issue. This is an issue that the dog is never truly going to overcome. So I'll give you an example. I had a rescuing, a 3-legged dog. His name was Moose. The owner was already a client of mine. So we had already done in-home privates with the dog. And when she had just adopted it was a 3-legged dog, scared of everything, scared of the shadow, scared of her, scared of her husband, like hovering around in the corner. So by the time they get to training, all I'm worried about in training is kind of pulling the dog out of the shell, right? So they contact me 2 years later. The dog is now on like Prozac and everything else. And I'm like, well, why did you do Prozac and not just contact me? And she's like, well, I had mentioned it to my veterinarian, and the vet recommended Prozac. So she had just had a baby. She's got this 3-legged dog that's in the corner barking at shadows.
Wow.
Not eating his food.
Dang.
And refusing to go outside because right behind her house is a walking trail. So what is Prozac? How much of this is being caused by Prozac? How many of this is being caused by genetic? And how much of this is being caused by the question mark of exposure? Because he's a rescue, so we don't know what he's been exposed to. So it was easy for me to break as soon as he was weaned off of Prozac. It was easy to tell what was genetic and what was exposure. We knew that the loud noises and everything else that he was going through was exposure. We knew that his lack of food drive was genetic. Yeah, he looked like a Doberman mixed with like some Sighthound or something. That, you know,
right.
Sighthounds aren't big food dogs anyway.
Right.
Then you start breaking it down, right? Okay, so how's the body tucked? How his overall aesthetic look? Are his ears constantly back or are they forward? When he starts shaking, is he shaking off the stress and anxiety of everything, or is he shaking out of fear? And the only way we can do that is kind of immerse him into what makes him nervous, immerse him into what kind of triggers those behaviors to learn if they're a genetic issue or if they're a behavioral issue. 95% of them was just a genetic nightmare. You know, and so I'm always in constant contact with my clients. So, you know, I was like, I'm telling her, I'm like, hey, so I've stopped the barking at the shadows. I've stopped the constant in the corner shaking.
Yeah.
But he is never going to be a dog that you can take out for a walk on a busy street.
Right.
He's never going to be a dog that, you know, if some kids are trick-or-treating, put him in a kennel. If you have family over, put him in a kennel in a room. You know, he's never going to be that dog genetically. And,
right.
You know, luckily, she's a client who completely understood. But sometimes clients and pet owners get into their mind of what they want rather than who their dog actually is.
Right.
And kind of, you know, we have to understand that, like me, naturally, I'm a naturally confident person. There's not much of anything that's going to make me nervous. I have a friend who's a nervous wreck. And that's just naturally who she is. There's nothing that I can do to stop her from having anxiety. She's already on medication.
Right.
You know, so there's nothing that you can eat. She'll always overthink things. She will always be like, okay, well then, what if this? And then what if I take my dog outside and then the other dog attacks him? I'm like, well, you know, you prepare for that. She's like, well, what if? And I'm like, okay. Your anxiety did the best of you. And that's how dogs are too. And it's kind of unfair to try and make a dog who naturally and genetically is a nervous wreck be a confident dog.
Right.
We make them be the best versions of themselves.
That's right. Yeah, you made me think about, you was talking to you. I was thinking about my oldest sister. She'd be like, oh, Lord. Oh, boy, you see what happened to the dude? It's about to end.
Yeah, so we all know that person. Oh, the world is ending there.
Yeah.
Like,
I love you, Terry.
You got to put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm going to text you right away and be like, that's not who I am. Because they're always in denial.
Now she talk more like this. Boy, I heard you. You know, we from the South. You know, it's gonna be all extra. You know what I mean? So let me ask you something. When you was talking about the rescue dogs, do you get a pretty good influx of them? Because you got, I noticed in the media, and I mean no harm nobody, but you know, like they adopt those shots. Don't you get one for those breeders? And so it's a right. So. And a lot of times, just to be honest, they in there for a reason.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's good for you, but do you see more behavior problems from them type of dogs? And would you say they are mixed dogs mostly, right?
Right. So I see a lot more behavioral issues from rescues than I do from purebred dogs.
Okay. Right.
Usually when I get a dog from a breeder,
Mhm.
all I'm doing is obedience.
Right.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
or they're doing daycare or something like that. Very rarely do I get a dog from a good breeder that
Mhm.
has behavioral issues.
Right.
Now, the rescue community,
Mhm.
those are the people who are spending the most money on behavioral mitigations.
Yeah.
So those are the people that are like, oh, well, I adopted her and I feel so bad for her. And they're putting all of their feelings onto the dog.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm like, we
Yeah.
probably need to stop doing that. So
Right.
it's the rescue community that's really taking up a good portion of my board and trains. Or the doodles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of behavioral issues with doodles is because, people are getting the worst behaved poodle and the worst behaved golden retriever or whatever other breed and mixing them together and thinking that it's going to be a perfect family pet.
Right.
And that happens.
Yeah. Breeding for the trend.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you just said it's better to buy a purebred dog.
I am always a huge advocate for good breeders.
Yeah.
Not all breeders, but good breeders, reputable breeders, breeders who are doing their due diligence in OFA testings.
Right.
So I'm always going to be advocating for breeders as opposed to rescues.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they put guilt on people looking for dogs. I just don't think it's fair or it's right. You know what I mean?
No, it absolutely is not fair to the dog, and it's not right to the families who are getting these dogs with the issues.
Right. So let me move on to another subject, and it's gonna be a little bit about Oscar Moore. Hey, Oscar, I know you're gonna watch this video, brother.
He might not.
He gonna watch it because somebody gonna tell him because I'm gonna have this clipped. But I had Oscar on a show not too long ago, and it was with me, him, Has, and another guy, and e-collars. Oscar and Has. I had to hire security for about 2 or 3 weeks after that video talking about an e-collar. It just went crazy. It was so big of division on e-collars, and I understand, like, well, if you don't need it, and all these trainers just went crazy. My phone, I was getting talked to crazy. Why would you blah, 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 blah. So, but in your opinion, with this tools, slip collars, prong collars, and everything, I know you're gonna start off with a flat, but when would you present other tools? When would you see to do that?
I'll start off by saying this. There's a huge divide in the dog training community where it doesn't need to be. And most of the divide is unfortunately coming from the purely positive community. Where instead we should be looking at it like this. Any form of training that we put into our dog is going to ultimately save their lives.
Yes.
Trained dogs are less likely to be sent back to the breeder. Trained dogs are less likely to be put into shelters. Trained dogs are less likely to bite, and trained dogs are less likely to be euthanized. So for this big uproar about training and how we train from one part of the community, it's unfair to the dog that ultimately needed the training to save his life. And I'll tell anyone, I start training on a slip.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, I skip a flat collar.
Right.
I start training on a slip. I start training on a slip because I train in a facility, and I don't need a dog running off, backing out of a flat collar and taking off on me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, other than that, personally, I don't need to use a tool to train a dog.
Okay.
But it's not me that I'm training for. I'm training for someone who has no idea, a 70-year-old lady who has a 100-pound Corso.
Yeah.
Who needs a little bit more help
right.
than just a flat collar and some cookies. You know, so we're training for people who don't have the skill or understanding of how to. And realistically, they don't have the time to sit there and understand how to. They just need a result, and they need a result quickly. I'm training for the regular person who's going hiking and wants a reliable recall. So yeah, I'm going to use an e-collar. Right. I don't teach the behavior through an e-collar, but I reinforce the behavior through an e-collar.
Gotcha.
And any person who says that they're doing full off-leash obedience with no e-collar is essentially putting that dog at risk. Because if there's no aversion, if there's no recourse for him running after a rabbit, you've just lost somebody's dog.
Right. So did I read that you did some sport work, right? You did some sport events, and then even some did you do some law enforcement work with some dogs? Yep. What were you doing with the law enforcement?
So I did a lot of subcontracted stuff with LAPD, LA Sheriff's Department with OJ. I train currently my Malinois in PSA. I also competed in PSA. I got all the way up to the 2s.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Right. Dang. Y'all doing everything over there, one year. Movies.
Everything, movies, all kinds of stuff, you know.
God, wait. Yeah, okay. So I was gonna I would be remiss if I didn't ask you a little bit about protection work, right?
Okay.
And I think protection work, you'll be better qualified to answer this than just me thinking I know something. But is it more protection work going on for people owning those type of animals now than versus when you started?
No, I think it's the same. The biggest difference is social media.
Oh, social media makes it look like it's
So social media makes it look like it's more popular. But I mean, I can think all the way back to the early 2000s, like 2005, when OJ would have 50, 60 dogs up there all doing protection work.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I think it's just more seen now. You know, and just because it's more seen doesn't mean that people are participating more. And even if people are participating more, then they're not necessarily doing it on a regular basis. The trials are still hard to get into. PSA has absolutely grown in a sport since when I was competing in PSA. But I wouldn't necessarily say there are more people involved in protection sports than in the past. I think it's just more seen.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay. So it's still a small niche group. And really what it is too, like being that, you know, how you buy a car, then you start seeing the same car.
Yeah, and I get that every time.
Right. Yeah. And it's like being that I covered trainers and everybody. And that's more of a trainer's thing too. When you start, trainers challenge themselves and each other.
Particularly when you start getting competitive into the competitive levels of sport. Then you really, really start seeing it. I mean, just like you said with the car, you know, social media specifically targets what you see. So if I click on agility dogs one time, then all of a sudden I see all these agility dogs and I don't even train agility.
Right.
I just thought that dog was nice. I liked what I saw.
Right.
You know, so it makes you feel like everyone has a border collie and they're running agility. Right.
So in the real world, when it does happen, do people think they can like, oh, I got this dog here, a Corso, I'm gonna take it to Angela and she's gonna build a protection dog? How does it work? Or is it a process on you picking a dog for somebody? How does it normally work for you?
People can absolutely come. I have bite night every Friday night.
Okay.
So we do bite nights Friday nights at 6:00. And if ego doesn't get in the way, because of course, you know, anything that deals with dogs has an ego.
Right.
Doesn't get in the way, and they come out and I evaluate their dogs. And the evaluation is free. The club isn't free, but your evaluation is free. And so I evaluate and I tell you where we go from there. if someone is serious about getting a dog and pursuing sport work particularly, then I'll point them in the right direction. But if they're wanting something more along personal protection lines, and I'll give them a list of, hey, this is a red flag for a breeder. If they don't have dogs that are actively doing anything, you probably don't want it.
Right.
You know, if you just see pictures of your dogs in the backyard or in a kennel, that's probably something to stay away from.
Right, right. So how important is do you focus in on stability when you work with protection dogs? What kind of dog does Angela like? What does it look like?
Oh, well, you don't want to know. So it's funny. What I like for my dogs is the complete opposite what I would recommend for someone else.
Okay.
I personally like big heart dogs.
Oh yeah.
Right. I like out of control. I like a dog that might redirect.
Okay.
So that's I like over the top drives, and I like over the top hardness for me personally. Like my Malinois right now is a little too soft for me. So, you know, he's got big, hard bites, big drive. And then I'm like, no. He's like, oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll do anything for you. And for someone else, I'd be like, yeah, this is a perfect dog for you. You want a dog that's a little handler sensitive. I don't care for handler sensitivities.
Right. Right.
I want a dog that's going to be like, I'll talk to you later. I'll be over here with the decoy. But usually if I'm picking a dog for someone else, I want a dog that's a little bit more sensitive, a dog that's a little bit more sensible, and a dog that has a little bit of slow, a lot of go, but a little slow.
A little slow, yeah. So the dog you like, do you normally see it in those aspects in a particular breed, or it just depends on the dog?
I'm a big Dutchie fan.
Oh, you're a Dutchie fan. Okay.
This is the first time in my life I haven't had a Dutchie.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, yeah.
My last Dutchie passed some years ago. So,
right.
And she, you know, my Dutchies have always been called like liability dogs.
Right.
I like, or at least I used to. I'm getting used to having a social Malinois. You know, so I'm used to being like, no, don't come near me. And he's over here wagging his tail. I'm like, well, you know what, man? Stop.
Yeah.
We not friendly. Like.
Right, right. Have you ever worked a bull herder?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about those dogs?
I like them.
You like them?
I like an over the top dog.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Now every single one of them I've seen is over the top, and I like over the top.
Right. What about a schnauzer?
I love schnauzer.
You love schnauzer? Yeah. Yeah.
Schnauzer. I love the defensiveness of schnauzers. The natural kind of seriousness that they have.
Yeah. 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 Let me ask you something. I was watching one of your videos, and you do something called a raise and train. What is a raise and train?
A raise and train is essentially where, if someone doesn't have time in their life, I keep their dog for a predetermined amount of time. Usually my raise and trains are 6 months and over. I have a raise and train who's going on 1.5 years.
Okay. And
so that doesn't have anything to do with necessarily like the training that he wants. He wants a dog that's social enough that he can go in public or take him with him on his private jet, but also protect.
Okay.
Right. So usually raise and trains are for people who absolutely do not have the time. Like I talked to his assistant the other day, and she's like, yeah, he hasn't been at home in 1 year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
The raise and train is for. I take the dog. I've had him since he was 6 months. Essentially, I'm raising him like I would my own dog, putting the personal protection in, putting high level obedience in that dog. So that way we're not creating a liability for this man.
Okay. So the dog will be fine when you transfer to
gonna have to have some sessions because he's a Rottweiler. So
right. Yeah.
He's not gonna be happy about a big man taking hold of this leash. But
yeah.
So there's gonna be a transition period. Absolutely.
Have you ever heard of the term? I'm sure you have heard of it, but leash manipulation, like training a dog to you could explain it. And how does that work?
There's a couple of different ways. There's oppositional reflex.
Okay.
There's leash manipulation. I don't train on oppositional reflex.
Mm-hmm.
Oppositional reflex would be, say you tell your dog to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog sits, then you take the leash and you pull the leash forward, and you want the dog to essentially, nope, I'm not going. So that would be an oppositional reflex.
Okay.
I don't train like that. I train on leash pressure.
Mm-hmm.
If I put pressure on the leash, I want you to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
So leash manipulations are just skills with leashes. And it's funny because you'll see people are more coordinated with the leash than some. Usually people who have played sports in their younger years are more coordinated with leashes, and they have the ability, like if the dog's circling around them, to just take that leash, put it behind them, and switch it to the other hand. You won't believe how many people struggle doing that.
Right.
And it's simply because our motor functions, our finer skills, it's things that we don't practice. For me, having a leash in my hand is like second nature.
Right.
And you just have to think about what type of trainer is who. Some people are going to train that oppositional reflex. Some people are going to train through leash pressure. I train through leash pressure. Like I said, if my leash goes straight, that means I want the dog to come to me. If I have slack in the leash, that means the dog is free to do what he wants.
Maybe next time I talk to you, there'll be a question you couldn't answer.
Yeah, let's go for it. Because as long as I've been training, I also like to learn. So if you throw me for a loop, then that means that I'm gonna go look something up. Or I'm gonna make a phone call and be like, David, this guy, I don't know if you watch NWA Cane Corsos Podcast, but he said, I have no idea. Do you know?
Right. Let me ask you something about Mr. OJ one more time.
Absolutely.
Did he ever tell you guys like how he learned the skills or who he learned from?
So OJ was old country man. Mm-hmm. So he always told the story when he was a kid and he used to race greyhounds, but his mom did not want him to have a dog. They couldn't have dogs. Mm-hmm. So he learned how to keep his greyhounds under the house with no boundary, no barrier or anything. Learned how to hide them in there and how to keep them quiet. And then bring them out on racing day and go race them and then bring them back.
Whoa.
Did that as a kid.
Wow. That's crazy. Where was he from originally? Texas. Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Angela, let me ask you one more question.
I got you. Of course.
You're a very successful person, very driven person, intelligent. When I first talked to you, you kind of shocked me. You sent a wave through my body. I said, dang, she's very professional. And I believed her too. Like you made me sometimes you talk to somebody and be like, okay, yeah, it's just a routine. But I can just tell I can feel the sincerity about, when you talk. I said, oh wow, okay. But if you can tell yourself, your younger self, something, what would it be?
Just to keep going.
Keep going.
That this world is going to throw all the loops and the hoops at you, and that you're going to have to jump through all those hurdles, but keep going and keep pushing, because at the end of the day, it's all worth it. And don't let no stop you from anything.
There we go. Well, I appreciate you coming. You guys use code NWA for a free. Nah, I'll just. Hey, but man,
for a free on bite nights. No.
Yeah. Okay, but I really appreciate it. Like what you do, I gotta have you back. Anytime. Douglas, the co-producer, he said, we want to do an introduction. We ain't gonna just drive her crazy yet, Joe. But we are. So, but yeah, we appreciate you, and I thank you so much.
I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Angela. Have a good night.
You as well.
Okay.
Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Cane Corsos, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs. Tune in to the most underrated yet influential dog podcast on social media. Your journey into the dog world starts here.